It's time for the Hab-Normals podcast. All Habs, all the time. Hey there, everybody. Welcome into Hab-Normals. We're at episode number 20. We have special guests tonight. We have Sam Wismer, hockey writer for... Actually, tell us, because I'm not sure I have all the information right. So you write for ECHL and AHL, am I correct?
Yes, so I cover the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins for the Calder Times, and I also have a podcast with the Calder Times called the AHL Pre-Show, and I also am ECHL writer and editor for Inside the Rink.
Nice. So inside that, you cover all the ECHL teams or one in particular?
I do cover all of them because, you know, being an editor, you got to pick up the slack where it needs to go. But yes, I also do cover one team in particular.
Which is?
Reading Royals.
The Reading Royals. We had AJ Baines on. We did me and another guy did an interview with him. He played for I think the team you're watching right now, the Norfolk. I don't know the whole name of it.
The Admirals?
The Admirals. Yeah, AJ Baines played for the Admirals, I think for a season or two.
Norfolk Admirals. Yep.
That was an interesting interview. All right, so let's.
Rick forgot to hit record until 5 minutes in.
Oh, on that interview, yeah. You got me worried there. I just looked up and what?
No, I looked up at the clock. I was like, oh, good, he hit record this time.
Yeah, it was embarrassing, but it worked out okay. It was only 5 minutes.
At least you caught it in 5.
Yeah, thank God I caught it quickly. Okay, so we're going to talk about, it's going to be a bit of a different podcast tonight in that we're probably not going to talk a lot about the Habs, but we're going to talk about the ECHL. We're going to talk about the AHL, and in particular on the ECHL, the Habs minor league team, the Trois Riviere Lions, was in danger of folding, as was the decision's been out, but as was the Newfoundland Growlers.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So the decision was out yesterday, I think, on their futures, and I don't know the whole situation exactly. Sam's going to let us know what happened, what was happening, and then what the decision was. So can you let us know what was going on with that?
So there were rumors flying around for probably a good 2 to 3 months. Possibility of at least Trois folding. Newfie didn't really come into the discussion till about probably Wednesday or Thursday of last week. Obviously, I was not putting anything out on this until it was set in stone. And what happened is that the sports and entertainment group that owned both Trois and Newfie basically could not pay their bills.
I heard that the Lions hadn't paid their rent in a little while or something like that.
Something like that. And then, so what happened the night prior to the announcement was that Trois Riviere took their $625,000 bond. The city kind of protects them against stuff like this, and they cashed it in, which is never a good sign. Trois, however, has a buyer where Newfoundland does not. And unfortunately, due to the bills that Newfie had and just no buyer interest, they had to fold. So it's an unfortunate circumstance. It's a very sad day for the ECHL, and it was a very sad occurrence. Newfie back in 2019, I believe, won a Kelly Cup. They were a phenomenal team. Just working in the ECHL, I made relationships with those players because of what I do. And, my heart really goes out to those players, their families, the fans, the staff, everybody who's lost their job. It's not an easy thing to go by. So, yeah.
And it's an immediate thing, if I'm correct. They immediately cease to operate.
So immediately cease. Yeah, immediately cease to operate. That means, Chris Ballard, their broadcaster, his job is lost. And the question came about, well, what happens to all the players? So the players that are on NHL and AHL contracts, they automatically get reverted back to, Toronto Marlies or, Toronto Maple Leafs, wherever Toronto wants them to go, they'll go. They cannot go to other ECHL teams just because of deadlines and stuff like that. So that has to happen. Now, if they're on an ECHL contract, players such as like Brendan Kapchak or Todd Skirving or Carter, oh boy, I forget his last name. That's my fault. Carter, I forget his last name, but he actually got picked up by the Orlando Solar Bears today. So he went to another team, but like those players that are on ECHL contracts have the opportunity to go and sign with other teams. But at the end of the season, there's a thing called protected list where your team can retain your rights. They are not eligible to have their rights retained. Therefore, it makes them an unrestricted free agent in the ECHL at the end of the season.
All right. So, but what about the play? Do they still get paid if they're folded? So the players like are losing money as well.
Yeah.
And it's not like they make a ton of money down there.
No, I think the weekly pay, if I'm not mistaken, is around $560.
Jeez, yeah, that's tough to lose. When you're living like that, it's tough. I feel for the players there.
I mean, a lot of these guys do hold second jobs. They have businesses and stuff on the side. So, but to lose $2,000 a month, that's a little bit rough.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no, that's really sad. So with the Trois Riviere Lions, what happened with them? They got bought, if
So
I'm correct.
they are in the process of being bought. They have a buyer. I'm not sure who the buyer is at this current time.
Oh, it's a sports and entertainment group, I think I read this morning.
Likely, because that's the only place that has money.
Yeah, no, I don't remember the name, but it's a sports and entertainment group.
Yes, so they're going to be bought, and they will be fine until the end of the season. Hopefully, that the buy goes through, and we don't have another team that folds.
Right. But next season, it's not for sure. With next season, I guess
next season is not for sure.
Yeah, that's sad. I wonder because I mean, the Lions were the Habs ECHL team. They were affiliated. The Habs affiliated team. Yeah.
And it's been a rough season for them. I've seen them. It's been back and forth with them and Reading this season, and I mean, they've had a rough go of it, but some of the goaltenders they've had in net are pretty amazing, and there's talent on the team. It just it just depends on the parent club and the AHL team, especially when they have injuries.
No, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I don't know, but you know what? It's an important spot because Montreal's had guys they've had to find teams for, in the ECHL, and it was nice to have an ECHL club in the, I don't know what you call that, but in their list or whatever. And it was also rather local. I mean, Trois Riviere is not that far from Montreal. So it was pretty good. And the AHL team is just literally 10 minutes out of Montreal.
Yeah, I was told that Trois, from my athletic trainer, that Trois was built in the middle of a marsh. There was really no food or hotels around it. They finally built a hotel a couple of years ago. So it's an area that was just kind of getting going and
Trois
stuff
Riviere?
like that. That's what I was told.
It's been there a long time, Trois Riviere?
Well, just like
I've never
the arena
been,
and stuff, and where it is. So
yeah, I've never been, but it's a little east of Montreal, I believe. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't even know how big of a city it is. So, but it should have been a city that's able to support an ECHL franchise. But maybe not. I mean, maybe that was a problem that they weren't getting attendance.
I mean, that's always an issue for every ECHL team. And then you've got some
True.
ECHL teams that are selling their barns out every night. So
Yeah, I guess location is really important for a league like that, right? You got to go where there's not a lot of hockey there that people can go to like that, like professional hockey. I imagine in Quebec it's tough,
And and another thing for Newfoundland, it was tough to get teams there. It was expensive. Like getting to Newfoundland. Oh my God, getting to Newfoundland, it's an arm and a leg. Most times I know when the guys would have to fly, they would have a series up in Newfoundland. It would be, they would have to either split the guys into 2 flights, and one would fly out of Montreal, one would fly out of Toronto, and that's how they would get to Newfie.
Jeez. Yeah.
So I know quite a few players that are going to be happy they don't have to go to Newfoundland anymore.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, because it's not like you can really just ride a bus out there. Mm-mm. You can do that, I imagine, for Nova Scotia and that area there, but it's a little bit farther.
Or take a boat.
Eh?
Or take a boat.
Well, you might have to take a boat along the way too. I don't know, ferry anyway or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's too bad though. What's his name? Terry Ryan had played a game on his birthday, and it was a whole big thing. And we love Terry Ryan here. And I'm feeling bad for him because that was his team. He loved the Growlers. He supported them, and now they're gone.
Yeah, and it's just a wild feeling to sit here. And I interviewed their captain, Todd Skirving, back in February. A weird feeling that I'm always going to be in touch with him, but like, it's just a weird feeling to sit there and know I may never see him in person again.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's just, it was kind of a gut punch because not only him, but I made relationships with the other players on that team. So
did you meet Terry Ryan?
No, he was not in Reading. He was actually,
oh, that's right. He was just that one game in Newfoundland. That's right.
Yeah. He was actually released right before they left for Reading, and then getting them to Reading was awful. There was like 3 feet of snow the night before they had to leave, and getting them off the island. They got to Toronto, and then the plane that was coming to pick them up in Toronto got diverted back to St. Louis, and then they were going to fly out of Buffalo. That flight got canceled due to weather, and then they had to call a car service with 7 SUVs to get everybody here.
It's not the NHL.
No, it is not.
I'm wondering. I know you see 2 other faces there. They're very quiet. You guys got any thoughts on any questions for Sam on these ECHL teams? No, they don't. What's the hockey like, though? How would you compare the quality of the hockey down in the ECHL to, say, the AHL?
The AHL, it's more speed. You're competing against guys that are better competition. When you're down in the ECHL, this is mostly guys that are coming out of college, guys that are on AHL contracts, but kind of just haven't made that leap yet. In the ECHL, your mistakes get, how do I say this gently, get exposed easier than they would, say, AHL, NHL-wise.
I had a question. Damn it. It just left my head. It's more physical, isn't it? I heard it also a little bit more of a physical, tougher league that way.
Yes, there's definitely more physicality to it. There's definitely more fights than I see in the AHL. Yeah, it's definitely more physical and all of that good stuff. I mean, we on Reading's team, we definitely have some physical players. So
you have to, I imagine. Okay, so let's move it up to the AHL. What is let's test your knowledge of the Rocket.
Oh boy!
So you cover the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, right? For the Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. All right. So obviously, the Rocket play them? I don't know what the breakdown.
Every so often, so
it's not like in the NHL where it's kind of broken down in a bit of an even way, right? So they'll play a lot, I guess, in their own division, but when they have to travel, they don't play as many times for those teams, right?
Yeah. So in the AHL, you play the same teams an even set of times, both home and away. So say Wilkes-Barre plays Laval 2 times at home. That means that they got to go play Laval in Laval 2 times.
Right.
In the ECHL, it's every man for themselves. And, Reading went out to Idaho, but Idaho didn't come out to Reading. So
they book their own games, kind of make their own schedule, kind of.
No, what I've heard is it gets put into like a lottery type deal, and your schedule gets set that way.
That's odd.
It's actually kind of cool because I like seeing different teams during the season, so I'm okay with it.
So yeah, you might get more variety, I guess, or not. Like here in the NHL, right? You play like 4 games in your division, and 2 games out west, like that kind of thing. Yeah, we had with the pandemic and the bubble, we had the all Canadian division, and we were all excited about it, right? Because we were like 8 games against or 10 games against the same team. It was horrible. We got
after like the first couple of series against each team, we were like, all right, we're done.
we got so bored.
Just
boring.
Just with me covering Wilkes-Barre, because we have such a ridiculous amount of hockey in this area. We see Lehigh Valley Phantoms and Hershey Bears so many times. I'm so sick and tired of seeing Hershey on the ice.
Yeah, you guys get that potential because of the I guess unbalanced scheduling is what I guess it is.
Yeah.
Since I mentioned COVID, what was it like trying to get? I don't even know if they played. Did they even play those leagues in the COVID?
So the AHL did play, but you were put into little tiny divisions. Like Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Hershey, and Lehigh Valley were all of their own division, and you only played those 3 teams.
Yeah, so it was like what we went through, right? Exactly. Just you get so tired of the same teams. How about the ECHL? I don't remember. Did they play? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't think they played that one season. They missed the season. I know a lot of the minor teams did.
Yeah, it's just due to travel and all that good jazz.
Yeah, well, yeah. Plus, no, it's a lot to do with money too, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have the money to do all the extra things they had to do just to get the game, to happen. I would imagine had a lot to do with that. All right, well, I got my silent partners here. You guys got no questions?
I mean, I've been doing a lot of this talking, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, you got no question, no preparation for Sam at all. I'm the only one.
Well, I mean, you stole all the questions apparently because I was going to ask about the Trois Riviere thing.
Well, yeah, okay, okay. Then let's move on to because we've got Sam here. Sam is a woman in hockey. I've got a question. Like I don't know how to pronounce her name exactly, but Hockey News is Rachel. I think it's Dory. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
Okay, because you don't really have to, but she gets a lot of flack. I feel she gets a lot of flack. I think on her opinions, which aren't always right, but whose opinions are always right. I know mine aren't. Yeah. I think she gets more flack than she deserves for some of these things. So my question really is, as a female hockey writer yourself, do you feel women are unfairly criticized for their opinions in hockey and are expected to have the right opinion and they get criticized for expressing it? When is there really a right opinion necessary? Opinions are opinions.
Yeah.
So,
opinions are opinions. I used to be, really afraid to kind of put what I thought out there. Because let's face it, I did cover the Philadelphia Flyers, Lehigh Valley Phantoms for 4 seasons until I made a switch in in this career, and it Philly's a rough fan base.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
Tell
true.
me about it.
So before this year's draft, I stated, I think we should draft a goalie. You always have to be drafting goalies. I don't care what anybody says. Because once all of your goalies have gone through the pipeline, you're left with nothing. You need to constantly be drafting a goalie. And I have multiple people on Twitter tell me, no, we need this, we need that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So then Danny Briere comes out and he drafts Michkov, which let's hope he comes over after 3 years.
Well, I think he will, but I don't know if he's going to be the generational talent. But anyway.
Yeah. And then, you have all the other people. And then he drafted not one, but 2 goalies. And I just sat there and I was just like, so we shouldn't be drafting goalies, eh?
Yeah, you feel
Nick, how many
validated.
did we draft? We drafted what, 4?
3.
Three.
Three
We
or
drafted 3 this past draft. Yeah.
Yeah, we drafted Carson Bjarnason and Ivor Servagen. I think that's how you say his last name. Savragin. He's from Russia. I don't know.
We drafted Jacob Fowler. That's all you need to know. We got Jacob
Ooh.
Fowler. The best goalie in that draft, I believe.
He's way better than Trey Augustine and Michael
Absolutely.
Hey, how's Caden Primo doing?
Primo's doing good.
Primo.
Phenomenal.
Primo is, he had a real rough start. But man, this year he made leaps and bounds in his development.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
Left hand's no longer an issue.
Oh, I don't know if I put it on. He was in his last 5 games, 3-1-1, with a 1.97 goals against and a 9.39. And he's been good all year. Like there hasn't been a game where you go, he was total shit. Where every game he started almost before that, you could.
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
when we would see him in the starting lineup, we're like, oh shit.
Well,
all right,
tomorrow they're playing.
Anybody playing the Habs in fantasy because they're about to get 1,000 points.
Tomorrow they're playing the Lightning. Primo's in nets tomorrow. That would have made like, oh no, we're losing. Now I don't have that at all. He's got the chance. He's really improved. So yeah, big difference.
And it's about that time too where you kind of see a goalie prospect make that leap, right? Because he's only, I think, 24. Like 24, 25 is typically where you see that leap made if they're gonna make that leap.
And I always say you gotta let goalies develop because they take the longest.
They can.
Yeah, we've said that here too many times. Like, in a goalie's prime really is.
But it's an individual.
From about 29 to like 35, 36. Like goaltender's prime is typically pretty long, and they can go till 35, 36.
Like I said to Harry the other night during the live watch party, Joel Blomqvist for Wilkes-Barre or for Pittsburgh. I've had a couple Pittsburgh fans message me and be like, "Is Blomqvist ready?" Like I was like, he's a rookie. He's a rookie in the AHL. Just because he's having a good year in the AHL does not mean that's going to transpire into having good games in the NHL. Give him a chance to get used to the U.S. ice. Give him a chance to make that switch from the Finnish ice to the American ice because it's not an easy transition. Sorry, we can't all be Ivan Fedotov and come from Russia and just make magic on the ice.
No, you're 100% right. Everybody's different anyways, right? And nothing wrong with a guy, cooking in the minors till he's ready.
I mean, that's what
I think
essentially what Cade Primo did.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than rushing, especially a goalie. I think a goalie, defenseman. That's hard if you're going to rush those guys. But everybody's different. So there are goalies that are ready younger, and there's goalies that are ready a little older. Well, we just have Monty, Sam Montembeau on our team. He's 27 now. Last 2 years he really made that leap. Now he's a solid starting goalie in the NHL, and at the top end because he's in the top 10 in a couple of really important lists for goalies. So it can take longer for a goalie, and I think more often than not, it'll take longer for a goalie than than other players for sure.
And I really don't want to use him as an example because of the bad press that's going on around him and 4 other players right now. But I will always, and I will die on this hill, I will say that Philly brought Carter Hart up way too early.
Yeah, probably in looking back in 2020, like vision is 2020, they should never have brought him up in the first place if they'd have known.
He had 18 games in the AHL before he was brought up full time.
I remember all that. But I mean, with what's going on and everything, never should have been allowed into the league. It's too bad
that's another discussion.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that happened, that we had to have these guys in the league that we cheered for and all that, and to find this out, Very disappointing. But as far as for Philadelphia, I mean, on their part, they found Samuel Ersson.
And Sam
played
Ersson
well. And now Fedotov looks like this kid's going to be pretty good. So
they
lucked out a little bit. They lucked out in that.
He's 6'8". He's a mammoth.
He's the tallest. He's the tallest goalie ever, I think. Fedotov.
The wise words of another Flyers goaltender. He's humongous big.
Humongous big. Who said that?
Brizgalov.
Brizgalov, yeah. Okay. The universe is so humongous big.
The universe is humongous big.
Good on that kid. Since you do the AHL team for Pittsburgh, what do you think of Pittsburgh's future?
It definitely has some depth. Definitely has some talent. Kyle Dubas definitely needs to go younger. And use what you got, buddy. You've got some really good talent down there. Avery Hayes, I believe he's a rookie. I just started covering the team this year, so I'm getting used to the roster this season.
You should probably start studying the Sioux Greyhounds too.
Yeah, he's good. He needs to know, like, he's got some good talent down there that he can trade away to get other Sioux Greyhound players.
So
that's what he does.
He did make some trades. He traded away Rem Pitlick, just to kind of get younger.
Habs legend Rem Pitlick.
Yeah,
he traded away, and I interviewed him, Alex Nylander. Now Alex is absolutely just killing it in the NHL, and I'm really happy he's getting that chance. And Ty Smith, but Ty Smith was able to stay with Wilkes-Barre because of Carolina not having an affiliate.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So, which is a blessing in disguise for Wilkes-Barre, because Ty Smith is the leading point scorer right now.
So you're saying there's quality talent in their prospect pool?
There's quality talent in the prospect pool. I know that Pittsburgh fans are going to be like, what is this girl talking about? But I do see it firsthand. Joel Blomqvist is going to be an absolute menace when he's ready. Sorry, there's a little bit of a fight breaking out. So, it's just a scrum. Never mind. It's not a fight. And yeah, like I said, Joel Blomqvist, he's going to be an absolute menace when he's ready for the NHL. People are like, can he replace Jari? I was like, you guys are stuck with Jari. Y'all made that contract. You're done. You're stuck.
Okay, no, well, Jari had a good season this year, didn't he, Jari?
Granted, the average age of the Pittsburgh Penguins is about 1,000.
He had a good start.
That is true.
Half anyway, didn't he? He had a good first half.
Yeah, he was pretty good in the opening.
Alex Nedeljkovic is a decent goaltender too. So.
Yeah, but I had him in fantasy pool a couple times. He's still.
I thought he was going to break out. Remember when his rookie year he was phenomenal, and then
he no consistency there right now.
Well, his career kind of fell into the footsteps of Jordan Binnington. So, like, Jordan Binnington had a great first year, and then it just fell off.
True. Although Binnington is having another good year, though. He's having a good year this year.
Binnington is done.
Well, I see him in the lists there, like goals saved above expected. I think stolen games as well. where Monty is, those lists. Binnington's on that too, I believe.
Primo's
I'm
good.
just assuming he's having a good year. I haven't seen too much of the St. Louis Blues. So, by the way, if anybody's watching and wonder why Sam looks a little distracted, she has to keep an eye on a game that obviously we can't see. So she's looking away to that to keep an eye on it.
They are on intermission now, so we're good.
All right, perfect.
And they were losing by 1.
All right, someone other than me. Come on, a question.
All right, so I've got I've got a couple players here, Sam. That I'd like to know your thoughts on them.
Okay.
And just overall, because these are players that I personally like. Some of these are players that are on teams. For people from my channel, I asked them to provide me with a couple names that they wanted me to ask you about. Maybe their NHL potential, just overall thoughts on them. If you don't know, just let me know. No problem. We're gonna start Fabian Lysell. We're gonna go with Cam's team. See what do you think about Fabian Lysell?
Really great potential. He's definitely having a good year in Providence, and can definitely help them go on their playoff run, because I believe they're going to playoffs. They clinched a spot.
All right. Fabian Lysell. I know Cam doesn't like Lysell too much. He doesn't think he has that top potential.
Hates him.
Yeah. He was probably trading him away at the deadline as well for a center. I like Lysell. I'm glad to see that he's having a good year. This guy has had a bit of a rough go about things. The reason he's in the AHL, we know he was in the Players Assistance Program, but Spencer Knight, if you've seen much of him, does he have what it takes to rebound? He's only 22, but could he get back into the NHL in the next year or two?
For sure. He kills it at the AHL level. Battling what he battles, it's not easy, because goalies, first of all, goaltenders are weird to begin with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
It is
very weird.
I love my goalies. I do, especially the ones I work with. Shout out Nolan May and Parker Gahagan. But y'all are weird. Y'all are strange little birds.
Yeah, you have to be to do that.
Yeah.
So, some of them are super superstitious, and some are just go with the flow. I've noticed a lot as goaltenders get older, they tend to let go of those superstitions, but when they're young, like Spencer Knight, and then just having OCD, it's tough. So yeah, I mean, he definitely has the potential to get back into the NHL, and I would love to see that for him. I watched Spencer since he came in. He's a phenomenal goaltender.
He's an NHL caliber goalie, I think. I mean, we saw him with Florida.
100%.
He's a good goalie. Boston College product, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I can tell you that in just a second, Matt. He is, yes, indeed, a Boston College alumnus, if you will. I mean, we saw Spencer in the NHL last year when he was still dealing with his issues. I believe it was OCD. He went into the Players Assistance Program for.
Yep, and then they brought up the great Alex Lyon, and
yeah, absolute AHL legend Alex Lyon. I know he's been a good number.
I have him in fantasy. I had him in fantasy. I have him.
Did?
Yeah.
Because he's still in the NHL.
I have a signed jersey. I have a signed jersey of his from. So I bought that jersey right before the pandemic, and I drove 4 hours to see him play in the Calder Cup playoffs and to get that signed.
Oh shit!
And Harry, he's with Detroit.
Oh yeah. All right, never mind. I don't like Alex Lyon anymore.
Now you don't like him. Harry doesn't like Detroit.
I am a Detroit fan this year.
Harry, why don't you like the Red Wings?
He is one player that I will follow wherever he goes.
Alex Lyon?
No.
Yeah.
That's completely fair.
Matt asked you, Harry, why you don't like the Red Wings.
Yeah. I heard that. I was waiting for Sam to talk. I know she was. I just don't like them. I don't think the Shanaplan. I think the Shanaplan is overrated. I think that the Red Wings as a whole are overrated.
Okay, so the Shanaplan is Toronto. Let me just stop you right there.
Or the Iser plan. Sorry, the Iser plan.
Get the plan right.
Well, still, they're Detroit players.
One plan has a team almost getting the playoffs. The other team has the other plan's got a team that's never winning fucking shit. As long as
never.
Which one's Detroit?
Big difference.
Which one's Detroit? No, one never winning shit is Toronto. You know that.
That is true. No, but I think the Iser plan. I get where it's going, but just they drafted 2 NHL potential goaltenders. They don't seem to know where they want to go with it. The whole, hey, Simon Edmondson, yeah, draft him, and Mo Seider. They've got no one else behind those guys that I can.
But they have oh god, Axel Pekka something.
Axel Pekka, yeah, they do have
Pekka, whatever the fuck his name is.
They also have Jonathan Bergeron.
That is true. I like that. I mean, that the Brinket trade's working out.
Whatever you've explained there, Harry, it doesn't make sense that you should hate a team for that, though.
Well, it's not necessarily that I hate the revenue. I think I hate the amount of hype that they're getting. That's what I should say. I hate the amount of hype that they're getting for doing next to nothing to show that they're worth that hype, in my opinion.
They're about to pass the Flyers for a playoff spot.
I am a fan of Wallman just because he does the gritty.
I love Jake Wallman as well for that. I loved when he did that on Montreal this year. But just aside from that, it's like you have like no likable players aside from Patrick Kane and Daniel Sprong. I love Daniel Sprong, by the way. For anyone who's first time watching, that's one thing you want to know about me. I love Jaromir Jagr and Daniel Sprong.
Yeah, figured it out on the last pod where you talked him up.
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah. No, seriously, he's like a top 10. I think he's a top 10 player in advanced analytics for goals per 60 minutes or points per 60 minutes. He's at like 4.64, something crazy like that. He's on a 4th line, though, because he's got no defensive ability.
Wow. Not going to make it here.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
All right, another player that I have. This is this shout out, Sons of Liberty. He suggested this one. And I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name right. He's probably going to hate me as a result. But that Ruslan Ashikov kid in the Bridgeport Islanders. I'm still calling them the
that menace. That kid, he has so much talent. It's ridiculous. I don't know why he's even in the AHL, but you know, I don't make those calls. I'm just the girl.
I'm just a girl. I like that. That's funny. Yeah, Sons is always talking up this guy, and I don't know. Seems like he could be worth the hype.
I don't think I've ever heard of him.
He went to the AHL All-Star game this year.
Oh, okay.
What's his name again? Say it again.
Ruslan Ashikov or something like that.
Yeah, Ashikov. Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of him.
Huh. What position is he?
He's a centerman. Center right wing, I believe.
I think so. I don't know.
Right.
I wrote about Tampa Bay's prospect that went, and then he literally got called up the day he got nominated.
Oh shit! All right.
His name is Gage Consalves.
That name sounds a little familiar. I think I do remember when he got drafted. I think does sound a little familiar, actually.
I've not heard it. I don't know anybody, it seems. If they're not a Hab, I don't know them.
All right. Speaking of the Lightning affiliation, the Syracuse Crunch, the player I chose from them, and I'm not choosing one from every team, by the way. I only have a handful after this one. He was actually technically traded from Montreal. His draft pick rights were traded. I want to know what you think about Jack Finley, because I will say this now. I don't think he pans out at the NHL level, but I want to know what you think, Sam, about Jack Finley.
I don't know him.
I know the name because but I don't know anything about that guy.
All right, no problem. No problem. I like this. Not making up anything, just straight up. I don't know him. I like that. I respect that.
I do when I don't know something.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you make up something, then someone calls you out on it. That's
exactly.
Word. I'd rather say I don't know anything.
And I'm truthful as the day comes. So
best way to be.
All right. For the Rochester Americans, shout out my boy Sporty. He suggested Isaac Rosen. Former first-round pick in 2021. You know anything about him?
He's supposed to be
No,
good.
and I honestly don't pay attention to the Amerks because they're an
He's
absolute.
supposed to be good. I don't know a lot about him, but from what I've seen, he looks like he's got potential. Guy. Rosen.
Yeah, he does. I will say this: I do think Isaac Rosen, probably a very solid second liner in the making. It might be restricted to the third line because of how much talent they have, but I mean, when you get Isaac Rosen for Rasmus Ristolainen, I think you got to say that's a win for Buffalo.
Hey,
yeah, that kid's
now.
supposed to be really good.
I do like Risto.
Oh no, Sporty is not gonna like that. Sporty hated Risto in Buffalo. Oh,
He was having a great year until he got injured.
All right, this I'm assuming you might know this guy. He's played on 3 AHL teams: the Orlando Reign, the Tucson Roadrunners. This year's with the Belleville Senators. He's a meme in my community, Bokanji Mama. I know he's 27. He probably doesn't have much.
That is a hell of a name,
and he's from Montreal. Yeah. He's from Montreal.
He is. Montreal, Quebec.
Yeah, he's. I don't want people to hate me when I say this, but I don't think he's gonna be able to make the NHL jump. He's 27 years old and has been on 3 AHL teams. He's an AHL journeyman.
Yeah, and depth at best for whoever holds his rights.
He would be good if like you're in like a very, very big pinch and you need to call him up, but he's not a full-time.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. Like I said, he's a meme in my community. Come on, Bokanji Mama, how would you not want that to pan out?
It's a hell of a name.
Yeah, but yeah, no, unfortunately, he does have an NHL goal, so there's that. One more goal than every one of us will score in the NHL.
True,
but
yeah,
but yeah, no, we love Boko. Someone we don't love though is someone that we want to know about. If you know much about him, of course, the Canadians passed on him for the right selection of Yuri Slafkovsky. Shane Wright. I'm really hoping for the hate.
Shane Wright actually just got his call up to Seattle Kraken. And he's been having, I would say, a semi-decent year. I think his little attitude at the draft kind of a little spicy. I like him. Yeah. because I have that same look when somebody tells me no.
Well,
that was funny though, because I remember when he dropped. What was it? After he dropped past Arizona, who I think had the third pick.
Yeah,
Rick and I looked at each other. We're like, "All right, something's got to be up." We didn't expect him to drop that far.
Yeah, no, I mean,
nobody expected Michkov to drop the way he dropped, and I mean,
the only reason he dropped though was because of the Russia thing.
Well, when you
like,
say
if that wasn't
nobody
a factor and he
expected
kicked him over right away, I think he would have went second.
I just want to say, when you say nobody expected that, you'd be wrong. I thought they'd go past. I thought he'd go past Montreal because I didn't think Montreal would take him, and I didn't think anybody ahead of Montreal was taking him.
So who was it? I think it was Anaheim. They drafted. Was it Will Smith?
Anaheim. Leo Carlson.
Leo.
Yeah. Smith went to San Jose.
San Jose.
Smith went to San Jose.
Oh, so the Anaheim choice. I just sat there and I was just like, okay. All right, Anaheim, I don't know what you're trying to do here, but okay, have fun.
Carlson's been good though, hasn't he?
I mean, there have been this draft class that is in the NHL, like, Van Tilly and Bedard, they are panning out to be who, come advertised. I don't think this year's draft class is going to be that great.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably after the top 10 in this year's draft, it kind of drops off a lot. But I do think there's a lot of talent in that top 10. Obviously, I think Macklin Celebrini, even in the past draft, I think if he was eligible, he probably would have went top 3. I mean, I think he's, especially as a 17-year-old, I think he was leading the nation in points at one point at the college level. I mean, I think he's right up there in terms of talent with like a guy like Carlson or a guy like Fantilli, without a doubt.
Speaking of, I was talking about Rachel Dory before. I saw a video of her actually talking up Celebrini in the way, like talking about him like Bedard.
Yeah,
where he is in that, probably maybe a little under that, but he's in that kind of category.
No, without a doubt. I mean, I do think he's better than Michkov. Like, I don't think anyone would ever argue that, except for
I think Demidov is better than Michkov.
I do too, and a lot of people think starting to kind of
1,000%
jump on that. Yeah, Demidov. I think Demidov's a more well-rounded player, and I think that's why he's better than Michkov.
Mm-hmm. Should we ask Sam about Michkov? What she thinks?
Well, Alex isn't here, so I'm not going to have to put him on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex isn't here, and I know when to shut up. So, so Michkov, I honestly wanted Will Smith, but beggars can't be choosers. I really didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know a lot about Michkov before we drafted him.
Nobody really did, though.
However, I think he is having a really good year in the KHL, MHL, wherever.
KHL. He's in the KHL.
Sochi, whatever it is. I think he's having a really good year. And I think he definitely has that potential. And like Alex, he could help this team try to get a Stanley Cup. But yeah, I mean,
generational though? Is he generational, as they're saying? Do you think?
Yeah.
You do?
I do. Okay. You really haven't seen talent like that since. God, I'm gonna be crucified, Crosby. I'm sorry. I know Crosby is hated. You can't deny his talent. You can't.
We don't hate Crosby. I don't hate Crosby.
I don't hate Sidney Crosby.
Oh, well, my fan base does. So, Alex, sorry, but you can't deny Crosby.
Yeah, Alex doesn't. No, Alex actually respects Crosby.
He respects Crosby, but doesn't like him when they play the Flyers.
Right. I mean,
well,
that, but he has
like
a lot of
anybody that plays the Flyers.
That is true.
Yeah. How I feel about Michkov, I don't think. I have this feeling that game doesn't necessarily translate to the NHL. Not saying he's going to be a bad player here, but I don't think he's going to be that generational guy. No. Will he be a star player? Probably, yeah, but I don't think more than that. Elite, maybe.
And like we've talked about, you won't know that until
he gets here.
Yeah. If he
because
does.
I've heard, players from overseas come over here and they're like, even the ECHL, even the AHL, these are 3 of the toughest leagues to play in.
Yep. Yeah, because the KHL.
Try to convince Alex of that, though.
And the KHL is not.
Alex doesn't know where a stub toe from the AHL.
No, seriously, because if he thinks the KHL, I mean, I think the AHL is probably better than the KHL a little bit.
Easily.
I don't even think the KHL is the best league in Europe anymore.
No, not at all.
The Swedish league, the SHL.
Yes, that league is producing
the SHL.
I mean, the Finnish league pumps players out.
Even the Swiss league now too. The Swiss league's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the KHL, they're good, but they're not as good as like the Finnish league or the Swiss league. Even the EIHL, which is the English league, like they have phenomenal players. So
I didn't know that. In England.
England, yep. That's where unfortunately
that kid got killed.
Adam Johnson.
Yeah.
And also shout out Liam Kirk.
Adam Johnson was actually one of the first players I worked with.
Oh, really? You knew him?
Shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
he
really
was a
sad.
book
What happened to him was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
You know what? Going back to the topic of goalies here, and sorry to interrupt you, but I
was going to say though, in his honor, we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't.
I just watched my goalie just warm up for the next period. I'm like, wow, you're a strange bird, man.
Who's your goalie? Which one?
Well, it's the goalie for Reading tonight. His name is Parker Gahagan. He is actually a West Point graduate.
West Point. Okay.
So
I hadn't heard the name before.
We have he's a U.S. military, basically.
Yeah. So did he play college hockey at Army?
Yes.
That's where yeah, that's where he would have played. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a talker. Once you get him talking, he doesn't stop.
Canadian Army doesn't, believe it or not, doesn't have a hockey team because they can't afford the equipment.
What do they like?
Joke. Listen, that's a good joke if you're Canadian.
But do you have like service academies like West Point or like
I don't know.
Navy?
But a big joke that Canadian Army, they don't have much equipment. It's not like we've loaded like you guys have. No, so it's a joke on that, but it didn't work. So let's not analyze it.
Okay, Joe Pesci or Robert De Niro. That's who was analyzed this, I think.
All right, you got any more?
Yes, I do. I've got two more. I've got one to bug Suns a little bit, and then I got a personal favorite player of mine from when he was in the CHL. We're going to start with the player to make Suns a little mad if he's still listening. Atu Ratu, who is formerly of the Bridgeport Islanders on the Abbotsford Canucks. Do you know anything or much about him?
Is it Ratu or Ratty? Isn't it Ratty?
I think it's Ratty.
I think it's Atu Ratty.
I don't know too much about him. I do remember seeing him play, however, but yeah. Again, I don't want to talk on a player that I don't know much about. So
no, you
no problem.
You don't know if you don't know. Like I said, I know the name of the kid, but I don't know anything about him.
Yeah. I like Ratu, or Ratty, however we pronounce his name. I think he's going to pan out well. And I think that Bo Horvat trade. That Bo Horvat trade isn't going to end up looking too great.
I did a yay or nay, before the trade deadline. I think he was in one of the trades that I talked about. Oh, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the last player that I wanted to bring up is one that I personally love. He's formerly the Oshawa Generals. Love that team. Probably my OHL team if I had to choose one. He plays for the Bakersfield Condors. Tyler Tullio. Yeah, please tell me you know something about the kid, because I really.
I don't really know. I don't really know so much on Pacific teams. I do know names like Andrew Podorowski, like Wyatt Wiley. Like I know those names out there, but I'm not too well acquainted with the Pacific Division. I do pay attention. I just don't know like singular players.
All right, no problem. Just tell me that. Just tell me that he's going to make the NHL and we can call it even.
Sure, he'll make the NHL next year right off the bat.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, well, you know what then? I'll give you one more then because I love the name and you mentioned him, Wyatt Wiley. How much potential does he have, even though he's 24?
Oh, Wiles. I've watched Wyatt from Everett Silvertips straight through. Wyatt he's a great defenseman. He can block the shots. He can do everything right. However, making that jump, it's been a little difficult for him. During his time in Philadelphia, they just never called him up. He was also injured a few times. I remember one game where he took a puck straight to the face and he lost teeth right here.
Oh shit.
He also took a puck straight to the eye during the COVID season. I remember that. So he had a little bit of a rough start, and I just don't think Philly saw too much in him. But I'm glad the Ontario Reign is giving him some solid time, and I'm glad he's going with a team that is going to playoffs. So, but he can definitely serve second line defenseman.
All right.
I don't know the guy.
I mean, he's got a great name, Wyatt Wiley, and I think we can all agree on that, though.
His nickname in the locker room was either Wiles or Wiley Coyote.
Or it had to be. It kind of had to be.
Yeah, no, never heard of the guy.
Oh God, this was years and years ago. But I think the best name, or at least the funniest name I heard of, he played for the Providence Bruins. I mean, this goes way back, but his name was Wasey Wabbit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, NHL 11.
My dad
legend.
died.
Yeah.
When we first saw that name, he read it in the paper. And we both look at each other. We're like, that kid must have had a hell of a childhood.
Yeah. Wonder if he had a speech impediment, and maybe that's just how he pronounced his name, so they wrote it like that.
So it was like W-A-C-E.
I know.
W-A-B-B-I-T.
I know. I remember that.
God, that poor kid.
So, like, you guys, obviously, we all watch hockey, but, like, you ever see one of those players that is just, he has a mouth, and it's like, dude, you still have 3 games to go against this team this season. Just stop. Sorry, it's just how I felt. I just watched, like, a yap fest go on for 2 minutes.
I can't think of... do we have any yappy players like that? We did.
Brendan Gallagher.
Brendan Gallagher's quite yappy.
Okay, but Gallagher's yappy because he's always in the middle of a scrum and he's taking a beating all the time. So I get that. I'm saying...
is it Arbor Jakai?
Jakai? Yeah, he's not yappy, though. He settles
Yeah,
it
no,
with
he's yeah.
He talks
He's not
with
yappy,
these.
he's punchy.
Yeah, he talks with these. But no, he's not a yappy guy. I can't...
Oh, Andrew Shaw.
Yeah, Andrew Shaw's an asshole, though, and I wouldn't even bring up his name because he's a piece of shit.
That's true.
But, you know.
Your eyes a little can be a little yappy.
No, not yet. Did you see what he said about last night's game? Right? He was taking flack from everybody. What did he say about if you know was something about shit? I should have written it down. He was just all like, if they're gonna do that, I'm not letting them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not letting them push him around. And he was happy about it. He was all smiley, made jokes about it.
Yeah.
What a great kid this kid is.
God,
I know Marty St. Louis, too, talked about how, like, you know, Uri finally had that breakthrough, like, realizing his size, and he's using it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. He's not taking shit. He's pushing back. He's standing up for his teammates. Yeah. And you know what? A little bit of that is from Jacky. He mentioned it a couple of times. It's rubbing off that, you know, stand up for your teammate. You see something wrong, you do something about it. That kind of thing is rubbing off, I think, on some of these guys. For sure on Uri. I think they're becoming friends there, Jacky and Uri. They talk about each other a lot. Yeah. So they must hang out.
You could say they're Uri.
They see Uri to Uri? I don't know. What were you going for there? I didn't
get the names. And then Jack I. Uri.
Oh. You know what? If you put them together like that, it would just be Uri because it's, you know,
exactly.
AJ and a Jacky. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It worked.
Hell yeah.
I'll go with that. It's weird. Is the writing on your shirt, is it upside down or is that my eyes?
On my shirt?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. It is. What I'm saying is upside down is upside down. No, because we lean back and I saw. Is that because the camera's weird? Because sometimes you'll see writing backwards, but that's not what it was. And I didn't know if it was my eyes.
I'm also on my phone, so.
Yes, but I know Pink is kind of weird with their designs.
Pink is weed?
I think that's the brand of the sweatshirt.
Oh.
Yeah, Pink is the off brand of.
But yeah, the bottom, so it says Pink across, and then it's flipped, and that's what you saw.
That's what I saw, but I didn't know if it was my eyes. Like, why am I seeing it upside down? I'm old. Remember, my eyes could be playing tricks with me. I don't know.
I feel that.
No, that's it. All right, what else we got?
What do you know about? Are there any players on the Rocket that you can kind of talk about, like whether they be like names that we talk about a lot, like a Logan Mayu or even like Reinbacher now that he's there, or
Joshua Waugh.
Wawa. Yeah, let's hear it. We love Joshua.
I mean, just, having a phenomenal year down there. My other co-host on my podcast, my AHL pod, she covers Laval, and she loves Joshua Waugh.
Why don't you give your pod a plug? Because I don't know.
It's called the AHL pre-show.
And where can people find that?
We have our episodes. They are on YouTube, and you can also find it anywhere podcasts air.
Nice. What's it called again?
The AHL pre-show.
Pre-show. Oh yeah, you know what? When I was trying to find pictures of you to put on the thumbnail, yeah, I saw that in my search, in the Google search. Yeah, it was on the. Yeah, okay. I didn't know that was your pod.
Yep, that's mine. We just recorded an episode tonight.
How long have you been doing the pod?
We've been doing it since November, but we took like a 4-month hiatus just because life got in the way. So.
Yeah, that always happens. Us too. When did we start? We started around then. This is episode 20.
Okay.
And we do it every week, so it's 5. We missed a few, but not that many. Yeah, cool. All right. We're going to wrap up.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yes.
No,
Well, it's just that you guys aren't prepared, and neither am I, really.
Eric trying to call us out.
No, I thought you guys would have other stuff, too. I would have done more work on this. What can I say?
No, we'll go back on something before we end, but with something that Matt said about the best name he's heard was Wasey Rabbit. Best one
no, it's Wabbit. Like
Wasey Wabbit, sorry.
Literally, it's spelled like that. Wasey
exactly
Wabbit.
Right, Wasey Wabbit. Mine is Colton Saucerman. I want to know, Sam, do you have a particular name that stands out to you as the best name you've seen in the AHL or the ECHL?
Yeah, actually, the team I'm watching right now against my team, the Norfolk Admirals, they have a player, and I believe his first name. Hold on, I want to get his first name correct. Steven. I want to say it's Steven. It's spelled Stepan. Timoveyev.
Yeah. Steven what?
Steven Timoveyev.
It sounds like he's Russian or something, no?
Let me click on his profile. Yeah, St. Petersburg, Russia.
Oh.
I mean, he's an absolute beast. In 61 games, he has 19 goals and 32 assists.
Nice.
Not bad. Well, no, I think Harry was looking for a funny name. There's a kid that was drafted. There's a goalie that was drafted 2 seasons ago. He had a last name. I don't know. It was something like about his balls. It was something like that. It was like a slang name for his balls or something.
I mean,
I can't remember the name though.
I don't remember, but if you're looking for a funny name, Harry. So Norfolk has a goaltender by the name. His first name is Ascari, and his last name is Salomon. I always call him Salmon.
I
like that.
Sounds like a dish.
It kind of does, yeah.
His last name is spelled S-A-L. His last name is spelled S-A-L-M-I-N-E-N. But like, he's from Finland. I told my broadcaster, I was like, Eric, his last name reminds me of salmon. He goes, Sam, stop. That's my favorite dish. I'm like, what? Look at his last name.
The Ascari salmon. That's a special salmon.
Yeah. I like that, though. I like that. Thank you for that.
I think I did a video a few years back about my top 10 favorite funny names, but I'm old, so most of them were. And I did this in my first year, so it's like 4 years.
Darley Zalapski.
I think, that was one of them, yeah.
You gotta have the best ones, yeah.
Isn't there? I don't know if he just got drafted or he's about to be drafted, but there's another like wicked name.
I know who you're talking about. Like, I can't remember his name, or I don't remember his name. Not I can't. I am refusing to remember his name. Apparently.
That's looking it up.
Yeah.
But if you don't know it, how are you going to look it up?
Crazy NHL name 2024 draft.
Yeah, no, it's an insane name. I can't remember. I can't remember it, but it's hilarious.
Well, that's good. You were as bad as me. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up. So, thanks for listening to our AHL and ECHL report. It was interesting. I think I learned a little bit today. I don't know a lot about. It's unfortunate. I don't know a lot about the ECHL, especially. That's the league. I don't think I've ever seen a game. So,
oh my god, they're so much fun.
yeah, I imagine. I've heard a lot of stories and read stuff, but I've never actually seen it. So we urge you to. Sam gave her podcast out. Please check that out and give her a follow. You have a YouTube channel, or you don't? You have a YouTube channel?
It's on the network that I write for. It's called the Calder Times. It's on their YouTube page.
Awesome. So go check that out. Subscribe, follow her. We hope to have her back, and we'll be more prepared next time. So that's Sam Wismer, and check out her writing especially for I would think more people would know the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. So
I'm hoping within the next week or so I'm gonna have my interview done and out with Joel Blomqvist. I've also this season I've interviewed Nylander, Xavier Oulet,
Habs legend.
Yep. Owen Hedrick was ECHL Defenseman of the Year last year. Who else did I interview? Oh, can't forget this guy, Jesse Puljujärvi.
Oh yeah.
Rick, don't say it.
No, we're not going to say it. We're not going to say it.
Yeah, you better.
How was he? What was he like?
English is getting better, but it's very broken in how he speaks. He understands when it's spoken to him, but when he's trying to speak it back, he gets stuck. But other than that, I got 5 minutes out of him, and the other beat writer was like, I couldn't even get 90 seconds out of him. I was like, I got what it takes. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm prettier to look at.
There you go. Where's he right now? Where is he now?
He's with he's with Pittsburgh now.
Oh, right. That's right. That's where he signed with. I remember now.
He had double hip surgery over the summer.
He had
shit.
He had what? I didn't hear.
Double hip surgery.
Puljujärvi. At his age.
He had hip surgery before this, and I don't know if it failed or whatever, but yeah, I mean he's moving like never before. So.
Oh, so yeah, I mean he's young, so maybe surgery for the hips is a little easier when you're young like that. Because I mean, some guys that could be a couple of years before you recover fully. When you're older, because usually guys that are older get that. I think.
But that was definitely the interview I was most nervous for.
Well, yeah, because you don't know if you can communicate with the guy, right?
Not that I didn't have too much fear of not being able to communicate with him because the broadcaster for Wilkes-Barre was there, but just more of the fact of he is a well-known name. I didn't want to screw any questions up. I wanted to make sure that I got my point across and the questions that I were asking were okay and stuff
I know
like that. So
yeah, I get what you're saying. Which is what we should have done here for you, is to have more questions ready and been more professional, which I apologize for.
You're fine.
All right, so on that note, we're going to call it a night. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we definitely going to have Sam back. Well, as a matter of fact, if you follow or listen to our Pucking Around podcast, we're going to hopefully have Sam there soon on the Pucking Around podcast, which it might be a little more appropriate for you because we talk about all the NHL and all that stuff, where here it's usually just Habs. I think this is the first pod we did where we're not talking about the Habs.
My bad.
No, that's nothing bad. Don't worry about it. It's good to have variety. There's nothing wrong. And we talked about the Rock.
Yeah, this was great.
So we got
Can't
covered.
thank you enough for coming on.
Yeah, really. Thank you for coming on. And
Yeah, not a problem.
like I said, we want to have you over on the other pod too. So
Oh, Alex is on that pod.
Yes, so you get to
right. Rick and I can work the mute button. Don't worry about it.
It's an extra incentive. You get to directly live on air. Yeah, take it out and give Alex shit, which we all love to do. We all love to do that. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week, as always, at the same time. And I don't think we have a guest next week, but we'll find stuff to talk about. Listen, if you want to follow us, please do that on Spotify. Here, subscribe to us here. And what else can we do there? If you have any comments, let us know what you'd like us to talk about in the future. We'd love that. And then that's it. I'm going to stop babbling here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out and have a great week. Ciao, everybody.
Later, peeps.
Ooh, I almost left without the music. Cover your ears.